So the next vlog that I'm going to talk about today is running, which I've been doing off and on for most of my life, I think, whether it's for PE or for fun or something. I really liked running in 4th and the 5th grade. Did the fun runs both years. I don't remember my score in the 4th grade, but it was 9, 18, and 5th. And the 6th and 7th grade, I ran 8.5 minutes. And didn't do any fun runs or cross country or things like that. When I was in high school, I didn't really start running again until for my senior year, a little bit, and then I actually started running more right before I graduated from high school, and actually hit up to 4 miles at that time, even in the heat of the day. So that was really a blessing. And my best friend at the time, she was able to beat me in running. She could run like 4 miles in under 30 minutes. I mean, she was just a fast runner. She could beat me in the park, and it was what it was. And I ran quite a bit during the summer before I got into college, and ran quite a bit during early college, like the first year. Second year, I think I ran less because I was working and going to school. And then I think from 06 to 09, yeah, I ran when I did. I don't remember how often it was because I didn't really keep track. And then I didn't start running more again until September of 09, right after I had my head accident. And I was pacing about 9 something per mile, or I think if I could stay 1 mile straight, it was the 9s range, but that didn't guarantee that in the competition, because the day after I fell on my head, I signed up for the Komen race, which was 9 days away, and I did manage it within 32 minutes and 10 seconds, 5K, which I didn't learn about till this past October. But it felt really different running in a race like that 10 days after my head injury, because people would have probably not thought that was possible, but it was really mild, so at least nothing worse happened, and at least I ran, so I'm very proud of myself. And the team that I joined, the rest of them were walkers. I was the only runner on the team, but that's just the way it is. And so in October, I ran a lot that year to cope with stress and stuff, and I've ran off and on, I think, since then, and more than the other years in between. And trying to think, but when I was studying kinesiology last school year, and we took place in exercise study, and one of the things I did was I ran like 30 minutes on the track for a while there, and then sometimes I would like run like 20 minutes on the track, and then after ellipticals 10 minutes or 15, and then like 15 on the treadmill, something like that. So it was a lot of running, and even though I really like it, uh, I do have to be careful with that, because when I was in 3rd grade, I had a swollen right knee and went to the doctor, and they put me on Motrin, and then I had to do like leg lifts for my quads, and so uh, I've had to be a little careful with that, because if not, people say running is hard on the knees. Well, that's if you're not careful with it, or for some people it's hard on the knees and others. So not to offend anybody, I'm just saying that yes, general it's hard on the knees, but some people have it more than others. So trying to clarify that. But I haven't really had much of a knee trouble this year. But last year, it was, my soreness went more into my left knee, which was odd, because years before that, it was always in the right. So that was one thing that was a little odd in me, I thought. Um, but I was late for the Komen race in 10, so I was pretty PO'd that I didn't get the time score, but I didn't get to run like I wanted to. And so when I did the Komen race in 11, on October 1st, my mind was real adamant. I left the house at 6:10, got there at 6:40, beat the traffic. Thank God, because traffic can be horrible driving there, which I dealt with the 2 years before. So I made sure to beat it this time, which I did, and I definitely did my race in 33 minutes and 8 seconds. So I found out that was a little slower than 2 years ago, but it was only by 58 seconds, so I didn't really care. I just did my very best. And since then, I decided, well, maybe I ought to try 10K. And so I signed up for the rodeo run on November 15 and ran it this morning at the top of my last video. Very proud of myself, first 10K, and challenged myself. And when I hit the halfway point, I was like at 32:29. So if I would have done the 5K, it would have been between the scores of 09 and 11. And people have told me I'm brave for running, and some are like, wow, how do you run an hour? Well, it's like doing something else for an hour. It's just you're running for an hour. For me, it takes a little over an hour to do 6 miles. That's just the way it is. When I hit my 6 mile point, I was at 64 minutes and something. So that told me I was doing better than before. Because I sent somebody a text message one time saying I ran an hour in like, what, 65 minutes and 54 seconds. And he went, voila. And I was like, yeah, you're not a runner, dude, are you? He'll walk, but he thinks I'm crazy for running 6 miles. But he's not the only one. There's people out there who do that. And some are like, you go, girl. And dang, you do all that. But running does take quite a bit of time to do. And if running was the only thing I did, I'd be bored with it. But since I do a variety, it really works. It works in the muscles. It puts joy and variety to it. And it gives me different things to do. So, and since I've been careful lately with running and other things, I haven't really had much soreness in the knees, and not that they've been bad, but I would just get them now and then, like last year. And I think the massages do help with that. When they massage your knee a certain way, it helps the muscles and keeps you from straining. And um, after my little brother dealt with some knee stuff, I felt like, you know what, I said, it's not like the basic training where they work your buns off, make you run practically every day or something else. I'll have to check it all out and see what they do there. But when I think about my workout perceptions, I thought people think I overdo it. I'd say think about those out there in the military. It's a lot worse than you think it is. Uh, for those who don't have siblings in the military, it's a whole new ball game. Uh, but for my folks' sake, I'm not going to go into all that. I was just stating the point that uh, he didn't always exercise before he went in, other than what they told him to do. So it's really hard to tell what the deal really was. Um, but I know that did change my perception in a lot of the workout ways, and I feel blessed that I don't have to push myself so hard like that. One of my dance mates, she was in the army, I think, and she said that they worked her buns off for 6 months straight. You could not get a day off from working out. I was like, dang. I thought I could not do that. I mean, I would have needed a break. If you're kidding with that, I think to myself, I mean, I've done what, 18 days straight once of working out, or 17. I was like, that's exhausting right there. And I didn't just run, but that was one of the main things I did do. And so I feel like running is one of the best exercises, one of the best ways to get your legs to strengthen, stress relief, and I used to run the treadmills a lot, but I've gotten to where I don't really like the treadmills anymore. I guess because you're running on a stationary thing, and I don't even like doing more than 10 minutes on the treadmill. I mean, at one point, I think I did 30, like several times, but I just don't really care for that. I just don't feel necessarily safe on the treadmill. Um, I mean, if I have to on occasion, I still will do it, but 10 minutes is like my maximum. And I have to do a certain speed level, and I just got to where treadmills, it's too stationary for me. And, okay, so when I had my head accident in 2009, it took me about 3 weeks to get back onto the machines again because it was really scary and I didn't know how I was going to be able to handle all the trauma physically while doing the machine. So I just did like outdoor running and swimming and didn't get back on treadmill. I love to go over anything until I think it was 3 weeks. I felt more confident and comfortable. And so when I think back to all my years of running, I just think, it's one of my favorites. I really enjoy it, and it is something to do quite a bit. One time I did my 3 mile run while my sister was walking the dogs, so that was quite a royal blessing. And I feel like if you're able to run, I mean, go for it. I mean, whether you do it for fun or competitive. I mean, it's what it is. It's up to you what you want to do. I mean, I've had friends who run for fun. Some do it for competition. I've read stories about runners, and one talked about how she would sprint, practicing even heat of the day, and so that to me was inspiration. And when I was a little bit younger, like in my late teens, I was able to withstand more running the heat of the day. Now, I can still do it, but I find it a little harder in the 20s. So I prefer running like in the morning or in the evening where it's not so hot in the summertime. Um, and um, I don't know if I would want to run a marathon because that seems a lot. Um, I was just exhausted enough doing the 10K as it was. And I've contemplated a half marathon, but I'm still not very sure about that because that does sound quite a bit. I've ran out to 7 miles, so I'll probably hit 8 sometime down the road. But I'm still got plenty of time to think about the half marathon. I just don't know if that's my thing. Um, I remember talking to the aerobic instructor up in the Dallas area about marathons and stuff, and she said, "Well, I would do a 5K and 10K and so forth," because she ran a marathon a number of years ago, and she said that they tell you how to train for a marathon like you would like run a couple times a week and then do like one long day a week so you don't burn out, which I really like that because after doing the track and treadmill on the same day at the U of H Rec Center, at some point I was getting burned out and I was like, I want to do something else for a change. Um, I think after the Tiger study, that was what it was called, studying us and what University of Alabama at Birmingham. I didn't work out maybe twice in like 2 weeks after the Tiger study because workout wise I was just so burned out from exercise, which I never had been before. So it was really interesting, and I feel like it was worth it what I did. But now when I think about it, it's like I like to run tracks, I like to run outdoors, but treadmill nowadays I'm just like, forget it. On occasion I would, but not regularly. I just with the treadmill it just doesn't feel that steady. It feels stationary, which is what it is. But I feel safer running on the tracks than I did the treadmill. So at least I was careful to out in the roadie run, and at least I did not leave my contact. I almost did. I guess because when you run, you gotta focus on your running and nothing else. And I was a bit tired after the race, but yeah, my father says it's good exercise and it's fun and um. But when I mentioned the harmonies thing, yes, for some people it is. I'm not gonna lie about that, obviously, but anyway, so running is one of the things I enjoy doing. I got several friends who like to run as well. So when I went running with my best friend when I was visiting her up in her hometown, and she was running not even 4 miles like I did, because she doesn't run like she used to because she has to work and go to school, and she's been having some, let's just say, health issues. So I think she's got like the chronic fatigue, which kind of surprised me because in high school she was such a runner, like faster than what I ever was. And Now looking back, yeah, she had some exhaustion because I think she had to do, but I just think, man, she could go back to her old jogging days, her cross country days. That would really be amazing to do. I thought about joining track cross country as an adult, but being a cross trainer, I don't know. So we'll have to see from there. One thing about running that I also like, as well as other workouts, is being able to use my MP3 player and being able to listen to music while I jog. That was another thing that I did on the rodeo run, as well as running in general, because it, it gives me a rhythm and it gives me something to think about to empower me when I run. So that's another thing too that I really like about it is using my radio and, and getting on my arm wrist correctly, and the armband on my arm correctly so the thing doesn't fall out, and plug in my headphones, and it's a really awesome looking thing to do. So here's my MP3 player that I use when I run and do other workouts, as long as it's not swimming, of course. And here's my little armband that keeps the stereo, and then my earbuds. There's it. So I can listen to music while I do my exercise and, of course, running. I know it's quite a long vlog today, so thank you for watching, and I will talk about a different type of workout in my next video. So, good night,